6 lucky numbers to win big and get rich on Monday, the 2nd of June 2025. Vertical bar Buddhist teachings. In Buddhism, numbers aren't just digits, they're doorways, sacred reflections of the mind, the moment, and the energy we carry into the world. In today's fast-paced world, many of us look for lucky breaks to escape stress, pressure, or uncertainty. But Buddhism reminds us, without peace inside, even the biggest win outside won't bring lasting happiness. This video isn't about predicting lottery number sits, about exploring the meaning behind them. These 6 numbers hold more than luck, they hold lessons. Each one is a mirror, inviting us to pause, to realign, and to remember what truly matters. So if you're seeking more than fortune, you're looking for clarity, purpose, and harmony, then the journey of wisdom welcomes you. Before we begin, gently support this path by liking this video, subscribing, and turning on notifications so you don't miss future insights. And take one mindful step right now. Comment below, "I align with wisdom and abundance." By writing this, you're not just typing words, you're sending out a message to the universe and to your own heart. You're ready. Ready for more than wealth. Ready for wisdom. 1. Number 6. Wealth built on the 6 perfections. Number 6. The path of true wealth through the 6 perfections teaches us that richness is not about how much we accumulate, but how deeply we live. In today's fast-paced world, filled with pressure to earn more, show more, and be more, it's easy to lose sight of what genuinely nurtures our spirit. Buddhism reminds us that real abundance lies not in gold or possessions, but in how we relate to ourselves and others, and that is what number 6 symbolizes. A life built on the 6 perfections: generosity, morality, patience, energy, meditation, and wisdom. These aren't lofty, unreachable ideals, but grounded, practical ways of being that bring lasting fulfillment. Generosity is not limited to money, it's a smile, a listening ear, a helping hand. Morality means staying true to your values, even when it costs you something. Patience helps you soften the hard edges of daily stress. Energy becomes a sacred joy when we pour ourselves fully into what matters. Meditation gives us space to breathe, to reset, to see clearly. And wisdom shows us which path leads to peace and which leads to more suffering. As the Buddha said, just as a candle cannot burn without fire, men cannot live without a spiritual life. And this is where Marcus's journey speaks so clearly to many of us. He had what most chase a successful career, recognition, comfort, but felt spiritually poor. When he began walking the path of the 6 perfections, starting small but staying sincere, he began to build something more durable than a paycheck: purpose. He swapped burnout for balance and profits for principles, and in doing so, created a wealth that could not be shaken by market downturns or status games. This week, let us learn from Marcus. Give without needing applause. Stand by your values, especially when it's tough. Pause and breathe before reacting. Approach tasks, no matter how small, with full-hearted joy. Sit quietly for a few minutes, not to escape life, but to meet it more clearly. And most of all, ask yourself, does this lead me toward peace? Number 6 isn't a magic charm to strike it rich on Monday, June 2nd. It's a deeper reminder that the richest life is one lived with heart, intention, and presence. Comment below. I build wealth through compassion and clarity. Let it be a promise to yourself and a quiet light for others. Together, step by step, we create a world rooted in kindness and wisdom. Sometimes, one sentence can plant the seed of change in someone's heart. 2. Number 7. Listening to the silence within. Number 7 is not just a lucky number for winning big, but a gentle teacher for those ready to receive real riches, the kind that fills the heart, not just the bank account. In a world that's always pushing you to do more, be more, chase more, number 7 steps in like a calm breeze through a noisy market. It doesn't shout for your attention, it whispers, "Be still." In Buddhism, the number 7 holds sacred weight. It represents inner clarity, spiritual awakening, and the quiet bridge between our outer life and the quiet truth within. Stillness is not the absence of life, it's the presence of wisdom. As the old saying goes among monks, when you drink tea, just drink tea. These simple words aren't just about drinking, they're about being fully present, letting your actions and attention live in the same moment. Have you ever asked yourself, when was the last time you sat with yourself, not trying to improve, impress, or escape, just being? Daniel did. He was a man who seemed to have everything: a thriving business, a loving family, a life full of motion. But he felt strangely empty, like a passenger in his own story. After a minor health scare, a friend suggested something odd: sit in silence for 10 minutes a day. No music, no scrolling, just himself. At first, it was uncomfortable. His mind wouldn't sit still. But slowly, the silence became familiar, then welcoming. He began sleeping better, listening more deeply to his children, and realizing how much of his mental clutter came from outside voices. The silence didn't take anything away, it gave him everything back. His business grew, not because he worked harder, but because he worked clearer, with presence and peace. Just like in the Buddhist parable of the muddy glass of water, if you stir it, you see nothing. But if you let it rest, the dirt settles and the water clears, just like your thoughts, your heart, your path. So here is your practice. For the next 7 days, give yourself 7 minutes of silence each morning. No phone, no plans, just your breath and your body. Afterward, write down one word or feeling that rises: peace, truth, let go. Whatever it is, honor it. That's your inner voice. That's number 7 speaking. And remember, the greatest wealth isn't in what you gain, but in what you understand. So tell me, what have you been too busy to hear? What is your heart trying to say beneath the noise? Comment below. I choose to listen to my inner wisdom. Because real miracles don't always arrive with thunder. Sometimes they appear quietly, like your soul finally whispering, I'm still here. 3. Number 11. The Inner Awakening. Have you ever had a quiet number tap you on the shoulder, not to scare you, not to surprise you, but to remind you of something deep inside you that you've almost forgotten? That's what the number 11 does. It doesn't roar into your life like thunder, it whispers. It's a spiritual doorway, gently inviting you to pause and listen, to step away from the noise of the world and come home to yourself. You see, the number 1 is the symbol of new beginnings and self-awareness. And when it appears twice 11, it becomes a mirror, a reflection of your current state of being, asking you if you are living with intention or simply drifting through life on autopilot. Think about it. Are your days driven by mindful purpose, or are they shaped by habit, routine, and the expectations of others? Let me share a story with you. Sophia was a hard-working single mother, always doing what needed to be done, but each night she felt a quiet emptiness, as if life was passing her by. One evening, while tucking her kids into bed, she saw 11:11 on the clock, then again the next day, then on receipts, on signs it kept showing up. Curious, she looked up its meaning and stumbled into a world of synchronicity and inner awareness. It touched something in her, something she had buried beneath her responsibilities, the dream of becoming a wellness coach. Slowly, she took steps: first an online course, then a simple video post. A year later, she wasn't just working, she was living. Not because of luck, but because of awakening. Can you relate to that feeling, that whisper from within asking for more, not more stuff, but more soul? I invite you to take 11 quiet minutes each day, just you, your breath, and your truth. Ask yourself, where am I living out of habit? What truth have I been ignoring? Don't rush to fix, just feel. Then, write down one small, real action you could take this week, not to impress anyone, but to honor your inner voice. Maybe it's speaking up, maybe it's resting, maybe it's finally saying yes to that thing you've been pushing away. Remember, as Buddhist wisdom teaches, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. So plant the seeds of presence today. You're not waiting for luck. You're stepping into awareness. If you feel it in your heart, speak it into being. Say, I am ready to awaken to my truth, because the real treasure isn't found outside of you. It's been quietly waiting inside you all along. What will you do with your 11 minutes today? 4. Number 37. Transformation from within. Number 37 carries a quiet strength that speaks not to the drama of external change, but to the sacred unfolding of your true self, an inner return, rather than a reinvention. So often in today's world, especially for those of us in our 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s, we're told to level up, reinvent, or become someone new. But the deeper wisdom, echoed in Buddhist teachings, tells us something different. That real transformation is not about adding layers, but about gently peeling them away. As the Buddha said, just as a snake sheds its skin, we must shed our past again and again. In the sacred language of numerology, the number 3 embodies the courage to speak your emotional truth and express your creative soul, while 7 draws us inward toward reflection, spiritual awakening, and wisdom gained not from books, but from life's silent teachings. Together, in the number 37, these forces invite you not to fix yourself, but to return to yourself authentically and compassionately. Jenna's story reminds us of this. She didn't need to uproot her life to feel alive again. She needed to reconnect with the piece of her that once dreamed, the voice that once wrote, the self that once felt vivid and real. Her journey back to her journal was not just nostalgia, it was medicine, and that's your invitation too. This week, take a deep breath and list 3 parts of your life that feel out of sync with who you truly are. Then, for each one, name a simple act, not a massive change, just a gentle shift that helps you move closer to alignment, not with guilt or urgency, but with grace. As Confucius said, the man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Number 37 doesn't bring false hope or lucky breaks, it brings honest clarity, the kind that helps you feel whole, even when no one else notices the difference. It's not about becoming more, it's about becoming real. In a world chasing instant results and flashy miracles, the truest kind of wealth is found in inner peace, authenticity, and quiet joy. So comment below, I'm ready to transform from within, and let the energy of 37 guide you back, not forward, to the place where your light still lives, waiting to be seen again. 5. Number 26. Alignment over accumulation. Let's talk about something truly powerful. Number 26. A quiet guide toward a deeper kind of wealth. Not the loud, glittery kind that shows off in big cars and bigger bank accounts, but a calm, rooted abundance that brings real peace. Number 26 is made up of 2 energies that together offer a deep spiritual message. The number 2, which represents inner balance, trust, and harmony, and the number 6, which carries the essence of compassion, service, and responsibility. When these 2 energies come together, they don't pull you toward more noise, they gently guide you back to what actually matters. In today's world, we're often told that success is about accumulation, more things, more praise, more hustle. But Buddhist wisdom teaches us otherwise. True abundance comes not from adding, but from aligning. Ask yourself, are your actions, your thoughts, and your values working in harmony? Or are you stuck trying to live a version of life that someone else defined for you? Adrian's story is a perfect example of this lesson. He had all the outer signs of success: a thriving business, six-figure income, respect from his peers, but inside, he felt empty and burned out. And then, strangely, the number 26 started showing up in his life like little signposts, on receipts, clocks, even license plates. It made him pause long enough to ask the question many of us avoid: is the life I've built truly mine, or just what I thought I had to build? That moment of truth led to big changes. He let go of clients that drained him, pursued work that actually meant something, and found his peace not in achievement, but in alignment. His income didn't vanish, it rebalanced, just like he did. And what he gained was clarity, energy, and a genuine sense of joy. So what about you? Where in your life are you chasing instead of aligning? One simple ritual you can try is writing down 2 intentions, one for your inner world, like calm or honesty, and one for your outer world, like financial balance or meaningful work. Then, take 6 small steps this week to honor those intentions. 1. Say no to something that depletes you. 2. Start your mornings with meditation. 3. Call someone you love. 4. Reconnect with your core values. 5. Journal for just 10 minutes. 6. Set a healthy boundary with your digital world. These aren't big, flashy moves, but they bring you home to yourself. That's what number 26 is here to do. It's not about making you richer in dollars, it's about making you whole. So let me ask you, what would your life look like if you stopped chasing more and started honoring what's already within? Comment below. I choose alignment over accumulation. And remember, real abundance isn't found in what you collect, but in how you connect with yourself, with your values, and with what truly matters. 6. Number 35. Growing slowly with purpose. Imagine if the universe was trying to send you a message, through fireworks or loud announcements, but through a quiet number: 35. Have you ever noticed how often we're told to move fast, chase big wins, and make overnight transformations? We live in a world that celebrates the hustle, yet Buddhist wisdom teaches something very different: that real growth is often slow, quiet, and deeply sacred. Number 35 embodies that peaceful rhythm. What if slow was not only okay but necessary? The number 3 is about creativity, courage, and the voice inside you that wants to be heard. The number 4 is all about freedom, transformation, and the willingness to evolve. When you bring them together, they offer a powerful message. Your journey doesn't need to be rushed, and your growth doesn't need to look impressive to anyone else. What would your life look like if you honored small steps instead of waiting for big leaps? Let me tell you about Ethan, a man who carried the dream of writing a book for over 10 years. It lived inside him like a quiet ember, but fear and self-doubt kept it hidden. What if no one reads it? What if it's not good enough? Sound familiar? One day, Ethan started seeing the number 35 in unexpected places and receipts, license plates, even a podcast. He could have brushed it off, but something made him pause. That night, he made a gentle promise to himself. Just 1 page a day, no pressure, no deadline. He wrote during lunch breaks, on trains, and in those quiet moments before sleep. Slowly, writing became a ritual, not a chore. 1 year later, he held a completed manuscript in his hands. It didn't win awards or change the world, but it changed him. He rediscovered his voice, his discipline, and his inner peace. Isn't that the kind of success that truly matters? So now, I invite you to look inward. What part of your life feels stuck? Your health, your creativity, your spiritual path? What gentle, realistic step could you take this week to bring it back to life? Maybe it's 5 minutes of movement, writing one honest sentence, or simply sitting in silence each morning. Can you commit to one step, just for now? This isn't about pressure, it's about presence. Number 35 isn't just lucky, it's a guidepost for mindful transformation. Drop by drop, step by step, we become who we're meant to be. Say it out loud or write it in the comments. I grow one step at a time with purpose. Let this be the beginning of your quiet revolution. Because the most sacred changes are rarely loud, they are whispers of your soul, gently leading you home. The truth about money. Why abundance starts with you. Let's be honest, money is on everyone's mind. Whether we have too little, want more, or fear losing what we've earned, it often feels like our entire well-being depends on it. But what if that feeling wasn't truth, just a story we've been taught to believe? In today's world, success is often measured by income, status, or what we can afford. But Buddhist wisdom gently reminds us, real wealth isn't about the numbers in your bank account, it's about the energy in your life. Peace, purpose, generosity, integrity, these are the currencies that truly matter. And when we shift our relationship with money from fear to mindfulness, from chasing to choosing, we begin to experience a deeper kind of abundance that no paycheck can match. This isn't about giving up money, it's about reclaiming your power in how you earn it, spend it, and relate to it. Because when money stops being your master and starts becoming your servant, everything changes, not just in your finances, but in your heart. Let's dive into 5 truths that can help you reframe money not as your enemy and not as your ultimate goal, but as a mirror, one that reflects who you are, what you value, and how you choose to live. Ready? Let's begin. 1. Money is not the enemy, but it's not the answer either. In today's fast-paced, consumer-driven world, it's easy to fall into the belief that money is the root of all happiness or the root of all evil. But both extremes can mislead us. In Buddhist philosophy, money is not inherently good or bad. It is simply neutral, a tool, much like fire. Fire can warm your home or burn it down. What matters is the intent behind its use. The same goes for money. If we attach our identity or worth to how much we have or don't have, we end up imprisoned by our own desires, endlessly chasing an illusion of security or self-worth. However, if we approach money with mindfulness, clarity, and compassion, it becomes a means of service, generosity, and inner growth. The Buddha once said, "To live a pure, unselfish life, one must count nothing as one's own in the midst of abundance." This invites us to shift our relationship with wealth from possession to purpose. When we see money as a servant rather than a master, we can use it to nourish our families, support those in need, and create conditions for peace within and around us. And yet, we must pause and ask ourselves with honest reflection, am I in control of money, or is it controlling me? In modern life, many feel trapped in the constant pressure to earn more, spend more, and compare more. Social media floods us with images of lifestyles we're told we should desire, subtly suggesting that fulfillment lies just one purchase away. But ancient wisdom and even modern psychology tell us the truth is different. Once our basic needs are met, more money doesn't equal more happiness. What brings lasting joy is how we use our resources to give, to grow, and to contribute. As the Dalai Lama reminds us, generosity is the most natural outward expression of an inner attitude of compassion and loving kindness. So, when we earn, let us also learn to give. When we save, let us not forget to share. And when we spend, may we do so consciously, asking if this choice aligns with our deeper values. We often overlook that our sense of abundance begins not in the bank account, but in the mind. A peaceful, content heart is the richest wealth we can ever cultivate. This is where the inner path meets the outer world. If we clean up our intentions, let go of fear and greed, and align our financial decisions with kindness and wisdom, we naturally experience a sense of sufficiency and calm even amidst uncertainty. Lao Tzu said, "He who knows that enough is enough will always have enough." It's a reminder that enough is not a number, it's a state of being. In your day-to-day life, try noticing when you're acting from a place of fear or lack versus a place of trust and generosity. Does this choice uplift or drain you? Does it bring you closer to who you want to be? These quiet questions hold great power. So, as you walk this journey, especially if you're between the ages of 30 to 65 and carrying years of financial stories, successes, or scars, know that it's never too late to rewrite your narrative. You don't need to escape the world or renounce wealth. Rather, you are invited to meet it with new eyes. Use your money to support what matters most: connection, compassion, and inner peace. True abundance begins with how we see not just what we have. 2. True wealth begins on the inside. In today's fast-paced, consumer-driven world, it's easy to fall into the belief that money is the root of all happiness, the root of all evil. But both extremes can mislead us. In Buddhist philosophy, money is not inherently good or bad. It is simply neutral, a tool, much like fire. Fire can warm your home or burn it down. What matters is the intent behind its use. The same goes for money. If we attach our identity or worth to how much we have or don't have, we end up imprisoned by our own desires, endlessly chasing an illusion of security or self-worth. However, if we approach money with mindfulness, clarity, and compassion, it becomes a means of service, generosity, and inner growth. The Buddha once said, "To live a pure, unselfish life, one must count nothing as one's own in the midst of abundance." This invites us to shift our relationship with wealth from possession to purpose. When we see money as a servant rather than a master, we can use it to nourish our families, support those in need, and create conditions for peace within and around us. And yet, we must pause and ask ourselves with honest reflection, am I in control of money, or is it controlling me? In modern life, many feel trapped in the constant pressure to earn more, spend more, and compare more. Social media floods us with images of lifestyles we're told we should desire, subtly suggesting that fulfillment lies just one purchase away. But ancient wisdom and even modern psychology tell us the truth is different. Once our basic needs are met, more money doesn't equal more happiness. What brings lasting joy is how we use our resources to give, to grow, and to contribute. As the Dalai Lama reminds us, generosity is the most natural outward expression of an inner attitude of compassion and loving kindness. So, when we earn, let us also learn to give. When we save, let us not forget to share. And when we spend, may we do so consciously, asking if this choice aligns with our deeper values. We often overlook that our sense of abundance begins not in the bank account but in the mind. A peaceful, content heart is the richest wealth we can ever cultivate. This is where the inner path meets the outer world. If we clean up our intentions, let go of fear and greed, and align our financial decisions with kindness and wisdom, we naturally experience a sense of sufficiency and calm even amidst uncertainty. Lao Tzu said, "He who knows that enough is enough will always have enough." It's a reminder that enough is not a number, it's a state of being. In your day-to-day life, try noticing when you're acting from a place of fear or lack versus a place of trust and generosity. Does this choice uplift or drain you? Does it bring you closer to who you want to be? These quiet questions hold great power. So, as you walk this journey, especially if you're between the ages of 30 to 65 and carrying years of financial stories, successes, or scars, know that it's never too late to rewrite your narrative. You don't need to escape the world or renounce wealth. Rather, you are invited to meet it with new eyes. Use your money to support what matters most: connection, compassion, and inner peace. True abundance begins with how we see not just what we have. 3. Money should support your values, not replace them. Let's take a closer look at something we often forget in the race for more: the purpose of money in our lives. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, not just as a passing thought, but deeply and honest, is my money supporting what I truly care about, or is it just feeding the expectations of others? This is not just a financial question, it's a spiritual one, because while money can buy you someone's time, it can never buy their loyalty, their love, or their genuine care. It can put a roof over your head and even fill your table with food, but it cannot give you inner peace or contentment. Peace comes from alignment with your values, your heart, and your purpose. That's why we must be mindful not to let money become our purpose, but instead let it serve our purpose. So what do you stand for? Is it honesty, compassion, authenticity? These qualities cannot be bought, but they are priceless. When your financial choices reflect these values, you create a kind of wealth that no bank can measure. Imagine spending not just to acquire, but to uplift, to support causes you believe in, to help someone in need, or simply to live in a way that feels true to who you are. Money, in this light, becomes a tool, not a goal. It becomes a silent servant to your deeper intentions, not a noisy master shouting for more. But when money replaces values, we begin to feel hollow. We may appear successful on the outside, but inside there's a disconnect. We feel unfulfilled, restless, always chasing something just out of reach. Have you ever felt that no matter how much you earn, it's never enough? That's often a sign that we've started valuing the symbol of success over the substance of it. And here's the truth: real abundance doesn't start with how much you have. It starts with how clearly you live in alignment with what matters to you. In Buddhist wisdom, there's a teaching: contentment is the greatest wealth. When you truly understand this, you stop looking at money as your identity and instead see it as energy neutral in nature, but powerful depending on how you use it. So ask yourself again, and really pause with the question: is my money serving my deepest values, or have I let it quietly take their place? The beauty is, you get to choose. Each day, you have the power to redirect your resources in a way that mirrors your soul. That might mean spending less on things that only look good and more on things that feel good, like time with loved ones, meaningful experiences, acts of kindness, or building something that serves others. When money flows through you with intention, it doesn't just support your life, it enriches it. This journey of mindful wealth is not about deprivation, it's about liberation. When we are no longer controlled by the fear of not having enough, we begin to see that we already have so much. And from that place of gratitude and purpose, we can build a life that is not only rich in dollars, but rich in meaning. So I ask you, from your heart, not your wallet: what do you truly value, and how are you letting your money reflect that? If this message spoke to you, leave a comment below with just one word that reflects what you truly value. I'll go first. Compassion. Your turn. What's yours? 4. Money is energy. Let it flow with intention. In the teachings of Buddhism, everything is seen as energy. Thoughts, actions, and intentions all carry a vibration that shapes our reality. When it comes to money, we often get caught in fear, control, or scarcity, forgetting that money, too, is a form of energy. It's not just paper, numbers on a screen, or a means of survival. It flows like water, guided by our intentions, and responds to the way we treat it. If we cling to it too tightly or give from a place of guilt, fear, or expectation, that energy becomes stagnant. But when we allow it to flow freely, with kindness and purpose, it becomes a tool of liberation not just for others, but for ourselves. Just like a healthy river nourishes everything along its path, money, when shared mindfully, can nourish lives, relationships, and even our sense of self-worth. Generosity doesn't mean draining yourself dry. It means letting go of the fear that there's never enough, and trusting that when you contribute to the well-being of others, you're also inviting well-being into your own life. This doesn't require having a large bank account. A small act, like tipping the barista with genuine gratitude or giving a few dollars to a cause that touches your heart, carries the same power when done with sincere intention. These acts become part of your karmic footprint, shaping your path in ways that often ripple beyond what the eye can see. In today's world, where we're bombarded with messages of consumerism and competition, it's easy to forget the spiritual nature of giving. Social media often shows wealth as luxury and excess, but true abundance isn't measured by how much you accumulate. It's felt in how freely and joyfully you can let go. Letting money flow with intention means using it in ways that align with your values, whether that's supporting local businesses, helping a friend in need, or simply paying for a service with respect rather than resentment. Every time you interact with money, ask yourself, am I acting out of fear or out of trust, out of ego or out of love? This reflection transforms spending into a spiritual practice and saving into an act of self-respect, not self-denial. And this shift in mindset doesn't just impact your wallet, it affects how you feel about life. When you realize that you're not defined by what you keep, but by how you give, a sense of peace and freedom begins to grow. So the next time you're faced with a decision about money, take a breath. See it not as a transaction, but as a chance to express who you are and what you stand for. The more intentional and joyful your giving becomes, the more abundance naturally finds its way back to you, not always in the same form, but always in the right time and shape. Because money, like love and kindness, multiplies when it flows freely. And the more you trust this flow, the less you'll fear not having enough. It's not about giving recklessly, it's about giving mindfully, knowing that you are part of something much bigger. In this way, money becomes not just a means of getting, but a powerful way of being. 5. Create a mindful relationship with money. Let's talk about something we all deal with, but few of us ever deeply reflect on a relationship with money. Not everyone needs to be rich or aim for millions, but everyone benefits from creating a healthy, mindful connection with money. This isn't about strict budgets or get-rich-quick plans. It's about understanding what money means to you and how it aligns with your values. So take a moment and ask yourself, why do I really want more money? Is it to feel safe, to support your family, to prove something to others, or is it just because everyone else seems to be chasing it? These questions matter, because until you're clear about your why, money might control you more than you realize. You might start spending on things that don't actually matter to you, or saving out of fear rather than purpose. The truth is, abundance doesn't start in your bank account, it starts in your mind. Try this simple but powerful habit. At the beginning of each week, write down 3 things you want your money to support. Maybe it's your child's education, time for rest and self-care, or building deeper connections with people you love. Let these be your guide. Then, every time you reach for your wallet, transfer money, or make a financial decision, pause and ask, does this action reflect what truly matters to me? That one moment of reflection can help you stay centered and intentional, because mindfulness isn't something that only belongs in silence, on a meditation cushion, or in a peaceful retreat. It lives in the small daily choice show you spend, how you save, and even how you think about the future. As the saying goes, mindfulness isn't just for the meditation cushion, it lives in your spending, your saving, and your daily choices. And when you bring awareness to your financial habits, you stop reacting to fear, comparison, or pressure, and start making decisions that feel nourishing and wise. But here's something to consider. What would your life look like if every dollar you spent was an extension of your values? What kind of peace would that bring you? What kind of life would you create? These aren't just surface-level questions, they're invitations to go deeper. Because when your actions with money align with your heart, you start feeling a sense of abundance, even if the numbers in your account aren't enormous. You begin to trust yourself more, and that trust becomes a kind of wealth all its own. So if you're looking for abundance, start by looking inward. Define what enough means for you. Decide what kind of impact you want your money to have, not just on your life, but on the lives of others. When you give your money a purpose that aligns with your spirit, you'll find yourself making wiser choices, feeling less anxious, and more connected to the life you're building. Because true abundance isn't just about having more, it's about living in alignment with what matters most. The key lesson here is this: abundance is not something you chase, it's something you cultivate. And it begins with mindfulness. Be honest about your intentions, let your values guide your choices, and ask the deeper questions that bring clarity to how you spend, save, and give. When you do that, money becomes more than a tool, it becomes a reflection of the life you truly want to live. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the 6 lucky numbers, not just as signs of fortune, but as gentle invitations to live with deeper wisdom, presence, and purpose. As we've explored, real abundance isn't found in the numbers themselves, but in the meaning we give them, the choices we make, and the peace we cultivate within. If this video spoke to something in your heart, help us continue spreading mindful teachings rooted in compassion and clarity. Please like, share, and subscribe to The Journey of Wisdom, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming reflections. And now, before you go, comment below: I welcome both wisdom and abundance into my life. Let that be your quiet affirmation and your bold beginning. Until next time, stay mindful, stay kind, and remember, the truest luck begins within.